Hi, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm doing another episode in my green winter journal, and today I'm going to make some little notebooks. It is another challenge in junk journaling for everyone, not one set by me, just one I'm joining in with, and it's to make little notebooks. So I've done these using the tags. So in the kit that I'm using, you get these tags, and I really liked these ends. I have printed on the other side because I did think I might use them as tags, but I decided to use them as little notebooks. Really simple to use. These ones I've just I didn't print on the back, so I just dyed them. This is a belly band. I have either shown you how to do this, or I will. And then this is the other one. I made this out of one of the tags that I made that was the wrong size, so I thought, oh, I'd use it again. This is being stained on the back with inks, and then just a little bit of a decoration, and then that can also tuck somewhere in your journal. You could clip it in, could clip it around something, or you could pop it in a pocket, or even in one of these bags. Or there, look, belly band ready to tuck it into. Doesn't have to have the flip, it could just be tucked like so. So let me get on. I say it really is quite simple, all made in exactly the same way. These are double side printed, but if I hadn't done that, then I would tea dye them or use inks, and I've got videos of inking things as well, so I won't do that here. So I simply, you could fold, you could score. I'm just going to fold for simplicity, so just fold that down there. So no measuring. That's a much bigger flap than I would normally do, but that's it. That's me cover. Do it on this one. Just use my bone folder. Yeah, I'm going to make 3, and I'm going to show you how quick this comes together. There we go. So that's the basic cover, and of course they have to be inked, because that's what I do. So just gonna ink round these. You will see a little, when you pull up the back page, you'll see this back here. I need some more ink on this. You don't have to ink. I watch people who make junk journals and they don't ink, so you don't have to do this stage, but I like the look of it, so I do it. I had a little bit of a mishap there with an ink pad. Doesn't matter, it's a junk journal, it doesn't matter. So ink round the others. You can fast forward this bit. When you're watching videos on YouTube, you may or may not know this, but there is a setting where you can speed videos up and watch them up to twice as fast. 1.5 speed makes people still sound fairly normal. When you go above that, they do sound a little bit like Pinky and Perky, or a chipmunk, or like you've been messing around with a helium balloon. So yeah, so I know that sometimes I do really long videos, and that's just how long processes take. And but you can half your time by watching me double speed if you want to. I'd stick to 1.5. you don't want people to sound... Well, it's not quite that bad. But yeah, so just a little tip there. Some people say they just put me on in the background and they just like me chatting, and every now and again I make them laugh. That's always nice to hear. I was making the guy in the phone shop yesterday laugh. Choosing my new phone. Should arrive tomorrow. They didn't have any in stock. I was gutted. He said, "Do you want to take it away today?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Didn't have any in stock. They did it at the beginning of the process and then they didn't. So, yeah, it's coming tomorrow. So, I'm not sure if you'll notice any difference in my videos. But there we go. So, that's that bit done. Didn't take too long. Bit of malt in there. And then it's just some scraps. So, some of the offcuts from the pages of the journal I've utilised, and then I've gone through my scrap box and pulled out some other things, because actually I've used up most of the scraps in other elements in the journal. So yeah, so I quite like to have some lined paper. It doesn't have to be the same length. That's the beauty of junk journals. It is what it is, and you can just looking for a ruler. I have to get me a big one. Yeah, just have what you want. So don't want it the same width, so we're just gonna rip it along there. So that's got a lined page. We'll give this one a lined page. I'll make it a little bit shorter. There we go. And then this one can have a long lined page. So they've all got a page with lines on. Does this need cutting down a little bit? It does. See, I'm making more scraps when using scraps. So we'll take that across there. It'll be fine. Take that one off. Quite like the fact it's got a bit of a hole in it. Adds a bit of interest. There we go. More scraps from a scrap pile. So I thought it might be quite interesting. These are what I cut off the paper bags. If we put one of these in. Just an interesting page to go in. They may not go in this order. Is that too wide? It is a bit. We'll put that one in that one. Don't have to come down too much. You could, even if you didn't want to rip, you could just turn the top over. But I'm going to rip it off, to be fair. And actually, as that's creased, I'll rip it there. Partly because I like that as a scrap. So then we want one off here. I could go that way and have it shorter. That would work. I'll have a little shorter one. And it's even ripped a bit as well. So even more interest. Let's have a bit of music paper. Will that one just fit in there? Yeah, it will. I haven't got a bit for that, don't I? I want to use these sort of offcuts a bit more. Yeah, it'll fit that one quite well. Yep. I'll stick it in there. It's a bit narrower, but it is okay. this one. That one didn't get music paper, did it? So let's give it a bit of this. Another bit of lined paper. Gonna take that off. I won't put two lined paper together. That would be a bit boring, wouldn't it? There we go. Oh, got some square paper there, like that. Have I got anything else of interest? It's quite interesting. Maybe you can go instead of music paper in that one. So how many sheets have I got in each? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that one. I'm not sure how many I did in the others. 1, 2, 3. That one's just got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that one's now got 6. Give that one some square paper. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many have I got in these ones? Let me see how many pages. Didn't put it in that book, Jez. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I only put 4 sheets in. Didn't want it too bulky. At the time of making this, my journal was getting really fat. It was before I decided to split it in half. So that's that. They'll do. They'll do indeed. So put them together like so. Put it at the top, but not quite on the crease because you want it to close. So I'm coming down from the crease a little bit, making sure the top straight, not so bothered about the rest of it. And that's that. And then I might have trouble now because I've made that a bit longer. So this might not go all the way down. Oh, it does just. And I just used a little this is just a little tiny attacher. So I just did 3 like so. There we go. Fold it over. You can see these, so I'll be covering those up in a moment. I might take a bit off the bottom of that. So just a matter of putting these in an order that you like. I quite like having the plain paper on the front. Really like that it's multi-layered. That's very cool. I think that music paper is a bit too wide, so we'll come in a bit. There we go. I might have it that way. There we go. I've got to sneeze. Achoo, achoo. taken my antihistamines yet today. It's a bit of an oversight, Jez. Especially when I went rummaging in my scrap box. It might be a bit dusty. There we go. Happy with that. And then I just three little staples. And then lastly this one. Put that way. That's squiff. You can round the corners if you want to, and I think I have on one of the notebooks, but you don't have to. When they're not so wide, you can alternate them at the ends. So I could put that one over a bit. It will then, that's the beauty of doing 3 things, because they'll always be caught on 2. I think that's sticking out because you won't cut it straight, Jez. So right. I like them being uneven. I think it gives it a nice little look. I mean, I've got books from the 1800s. Printed books and the pages aren't straight, so there we go. Now you might want to, as I do there, you might want to rip some of these things at the bottom that aren't quite, that are overlapping a little bit. It is quite hard to rip such a small amount. Rip a bit of that off. Quite like the rip edge. And that one, I'll just rip that one there. There we go. Bit better, and I'm liking that. I want to rip that. There we go. So they're all right. This one I want to just trim down because he's not all right. There. Sorted. Right, so that needs inking at the bottom there. And then we just need a bit of decoration on the front and cover these up. So I have got a load of these which were from a notepad that Ed had, and I just quite like the look of them on the back. So all I did, I think I'll probably cut them. So just cut up there, cut up there, and I just stuck them across. So a bit of glue, probably inked it. So you don't have to, but I like to. So I've got a thicker edge and a thinner edge. I'm going to put the thicker edge towards the top because that covers the staples. You could put lace across if you wanted to, but I liked that. Across there, covers the staples. It's a notebook, and this is a offcut of a notebook, and I just liked the way that looked on the back there. And then for the front, I just added some. So I've got these little elements, so I might stick one of these on the front. What have we got? That little circle's quite nice on the front there. Might do that. Might put a little bit of cheesecloth behind. Give it a bit of a pull. Make it look more frayed. Because we've got a hole there, so I sort of want to cover that up, really. Yeah, nothing too fancy. I might put something on the other side because this one does have a hole. The others don't have a hole, so don't really need to worry about it. I'll stick this one down. And then on the back there, I might just take one of those scraps. Just stick a scrap on the back. Or should I take a scrap from the bottom? That took off. And I think this is going to be tricky. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to curl that around with my scissors. Yeah, I'll stick that on there, be fine. Decorate a bit on there if you wanted to. I didn't want to add too much bulk. And then these are the same. You could, if you wanted to, and you didn't have any offcuts, you could just stick some of your scraps that you've just cut off on the back there. That would work as well. Let's good to use up scraps. Might give it a bit more of a rip. Yeah, like that. Might need a bit more ink on that, Jez. Never mind. So, I mean, you could leave the staples exposed if you want to, if you're not bothered. But I like to cover them up. So, one more. So I'm going to put this on there. So we'll just cut up there. So this is going to be quick, but it's only because I'm making 3. And I'm not being too long. 26 minutes, that's not long really, is it, so far? And then... And then I think this was the last thing that I was going to do before I put the cover on. Which is exciting. And as this is going to turn into 4 journals, I might do different types of covers. Now the staple's still sticking out a bit there. Move it down a bit. The whole point is to cover the staples, Jez. There we go. So I've got a little button punch, which is very cool. So I might do some tea stain buttons. And then do like the look of these little buttons. They're very cool, in my opinion. I could just put a button on that one because it's quite green. The other one I think needs something behind it because it's getting lost. Just a button on that one, keeping it simple. This, I want something behind it. Not sure that I want that. Not sure that I want one of these either. Oh, got a bit of music paper here. Yep. Bit of that. fill this little glue bottle up. There we go. We're going to be just over half an hour. That's not bad, is it? There we go. Using lots of scraps to make my little notebooks. So that's worked well. Put them away. There we go. 3 quick little notebooks. Let's bring the journal back in. So on this one I did pop an envelope, but I could also have popped a notebook on there, except it is quite big, that one. But if you had a different style belly band, that would work. Now I probably might pop one in the centre. I might do that with some sort of belly band like I did on this one in the centre. Oh, I did an envelope, but I could swap that out for a little notebook. Maybe I might do a belly band the other way round if I'm going to put a notebook in the centre. Is pop a little belly band this way round, for instance, and then that can just go over, and then maybe a bigger tag behind as well. That might look cool on the inside. You could, depends on what's on the other side. It's got pockets on both the other sides, hasn't it? But if it was plain, you could just pop it over the top of a page like so. Could pop it over that page there. You could put something on the back if you were going to do it in that sort of way. You could even, like this little one, could even be popped in this little bag for some. So if you're like me, I don't like my handwriting, so pop that in, and then you can do a bit of journaling in there, and it's done. So yeah, always handy. They could just be popped in a pocket as well, so you've got an extra bit of journaling there. Okay, hope that was useful, and I hope you're enjoying this series that's nearly over. Yeah, it'll be not far from Christmas by the time this is finished. Well, by the time you see it, I'm still in November filming it. So yeah, I will have close-ups over on nigezza.co.uk, and yeah, links to my shop for buying Stampin' Up products as well. All right, bye for now. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe.